All right, it's that time of year again. Time to revise my Dr. Squatch rankings list. All right, so about a year ago, I made a video where I ranked all 33 Dr. Squatch soaps from worst to best. And since then, Squatch has released 12 new bars. So I am making a revised list where I would be ranking all 45 of the Dr. Squatch soaps in their catalog. Now, because this list has become so extensive, I don't want the video to run too long, so there will be some bars that I don't talk much about to save time. And because some of these bars just aren't really worth talking about that much. I will be judging these bars primarily by scent and secondarily by ingredients and texture. Since my last rankings video, some of my rankings have changed. There was one bar I had ranked in the middle of the pack that is now actually in my top 5. It actually climbed up 13 spots from the previous video. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more reviews. I am currently working on several more reviews for Squatch products. I'll be reviewing their colognes, the lotions, and probably the toothpaste as well. So keep an eye out for those in the near future. And I also review other soap companies and products as well. All right, I'm going to try not to drag this video out for too long, so let's get to the rankings. Now, I'm going to do something a little different on this video than I had on the previous ones. I'm going to break these soaps into 6 different tier groups. 1, bars that I hate. 2, bars that I dislike. 3, bars that I'm indifferent to and just don't care for one way or another. 4, bars that are decent or okay. 5, bars that I like. And 6, bars that I love. So for the bars that I hate, number 45, you already know what it is. This bar stinks so bad, it's got to be quarantined. That's right. And I can smell the stankness coming from this container in this Ziploc bag. Spartan Scrub. I'm not going to open this bag. It's going right back in the container because this is one of the worst smelling soaps I've ever had the displeasure of smelling. It smells like a smoky vinegar or something. It's hard to describe. It smells like a smoky vinegar with an undertone of banana nut bread. It's very odd. The undertone of banana nut bread is not bad. It's okay, but it's buried under that nasty, stank, smoky vinegar scent that's just way too overpowering. That's why it's in this container locked away from all the other bars like it should be. This bar stinks so bad that even Dr. Squatch is wearing a gas mask. Number 44, if you've seen my previous rankings, you probably think you're about to see Birchwood Breeze. Birchwood Breeze has been knocked down a couple spots because some of these bars that came out in 2022 are really bad. And this was the worst offender of all. Oh my goodness, this black hole reeks. I thought it was okay when I first used it, but after I used it and put it up in the cabinet, I smelled it like a couple weeks later. I'm not taking a sniff of it now. I already smell enough of it. It is grotesque. This almost beats Spartan Scrub. It's so bad. I'm not sure exactly what it is that smells so bad. It's like the apricot scent. It almost smells like the apricot got rotten or something. It is just grotesque. It smells to me like rotten produce. I cannot stand the scent of this bar. It is horrible. I don't want this bar. The only reason I still have it is so that I can display it for these rankings videos. Otherwise, I would have tossed it in the garbage. Number 43, another stank bar that just came out in 2022, Suds of Darkness. This one is grotesque too. It smells similar as Black Hole. It's not quite as offensive, but it's pretty bad. And this was another one that when I first used it, I didn't think it was that bad, but after it dried and stored for a few days, it just reeks. It smells a bit like Black Hole, so a lot of these bars in 2022 feel like they're recycled. So Black Hole came out, and then this one came out in the second Star Wars collection a few months later, and I think they probably used some of the same ingredients from Black Hole in Suds of Darkness. It's just this one, they added some more fragrance to it. It's just fragrancy, it's cheap, it's gross. It smells very similar to Black Hole, and I actually hate both of those way worse than Birchwood Breeze. This Suds of Darkness and all of the bars in the second Star Wars collection just smell very cheap. And speaking of cheap, coming at number 42, yes, another one that I hate even more than Birchwood Breeze, Raptor Rush. I just made a review on this one and talked about how much I hated it, how I was disappointed in it. And I did say on there that this one, it doesn't really smell that bad, but I take that back. Since this dried, it smells worse than when I originally used it. It does have a similar scent as Legendary Lather, but it's worse. It also smells a bit like Area 51, but with the added fragrance they added to it, it just smells a whole lot worse. I really hate this Raptor Rush bar. I think it's not only one of the worst of Squatch's 2022 editions, but one of the worst in the catalog. Alright, number 41, you knew it was coming, Birchwood Breeze. Okay, so in its defense, when it dries up, it's not nearly as offensive as some of the other bars, like Black Hole. This is like the opposite of Black Hole. When I lathered Black Hole up, I thought it smelled okay. It didn't bother me until later when it was dried up. This one, when I lather it up, I can't stand the scent. It's too strong, but when it dries up, it's not nearly as bad. But I still don't like it. But one positive about Birchwood Breeze, this is not some cheap, low-quality bar of soap. This is a high-quality bar. The texture feels really nice. You can really feel that pumice in there. It has a really nice texture. It's a medium grit bar. You can feel the grit in there. So as far as that goes, this is a really good bar. I just can't stand the scent when it's lathered up because it's like a punch to the face. Alright, so those are the bars that made my hate tier group. Now, let's get into my dislike tier list. Alright, so number 40, Resistance Rinse. You know what? Let me pull up Birchwood Breeze. I may actually like Birchwood Breeze better than this Resistance Rinse. This Resistance Rinse just smells so cheap. It just feels like the bars that Squatch released in 2022, most of them just felt really cheap and fragrancy. And that's exactly what this is. When I first used it, I thought it smelled okay. I wasn't crazy about it, but after it's stored up and I'm smelling it over again, yeah, this is pretty stinky actually. The Resistance Rinse actually smells much like the Riddler Enigma bar, just minus the green colorant and the sour apple scent. But it actually smells cheaper because it seems like it has more fragrance to it. Number 39, Summer Citrus. This to me smells like orange soda. Some people said that it smelled like Lemon Pledge, and I can see that. So it has a citrus scent. Unfortunately, it's not a good citrus scent. They just added a bunch of fragrance to it. It doesn't smell natural. It doesn't smell good. It just smells like generic imitation orange/lemon. It just smells cheap. Overall, I've just been very disappointed by Squatch's new bars that came out in 2022. Most of them just smelled very cheap and poorly made. And Summer Citrus, to me, smells like it could possibly be their cheapest bar in the entire catalog. Summer Citrus was made to take the place of Cedar Citrus, which they're going to discontinue. But Cedar Citrus, although the scent is weak, it's not bad. It's not a low quality bar. It's not a bad bar. The scent is just weak. So Squatch heard us say, hey, we would like for the cedar citrus scent to be stronger. So what they did was say, hey, we'll make the summer citrus bar and instead of making good ingredients, we're just going to toss in a whole bunch of fragrance. And now it's worse than cedar citrus. I could at least use cedar citrus. There's nothing offensive about cedar citrus. But this, I wouldn't even want to use. All right, number 38, Werewolf Wash. When I first smelled this out of the box, I thought it smelled pretty good. But then once I lathered it up, it was too strong. The fragrance is cheap. It's overpowering. This just smells cheap. Like I said, that's been the big issue with the bars Squatch released in 2022. They all smell so cheap. So I'm guessing that Squatch changed the ingredients and altered the formulas to try to cut back on costs and save money. But it defeats the purpose if the quality of the soap suffers from it. This actually smells very similar as Sinister Scrub, which was released a couple months before this. Alright, so here's Sinister Scrub. And this one is a pretty decent scent. It does smell kind of cheap, but I like the scent okay. I like it better than the other Star Wars bars. It smells like Brick of the Dead and Bay Rum combined, and it also smells like apple pie. And Werewolf Wash has a very similar scent. I am thinking that they took part of what they had in Sinister Scrub and then they added like some fragrance to it to make it slightly different, but it just makes it smell more cheap. Like I said, when I first smelled this out of the package, I thought it smelled pretty good, but once you lather it up, it just got to be way too powerful, and that fragrance got too strong, and it just smelled cheap. Alright, so number 37, King of the Bricks. I just made a review on King of the Bricks and on Raptor Rush, and I can say that after I made both those reviews, my opinion has slightly altered on both. To me, Raptor Rush smells way worse than it did on that initial review, and if you saw that review, you already saw how disappointed I was in the bar, but now I hate it. This one, on the other hand, I like a little bit more than I initially did on the review, but I'm still not a fan. I'm not close to being a fan. It's just not quite as bad as I thought on the initial review. I said on there that I thought it smelled like Suds of Darkness, and I stand by that. It does smell slightly like Suds of Darkness, but even more than Suds of Darkness, it actually smells like the Batman brick. I've got the Batman brick here and the King of the Bricks, and they both have a very similar smell. I do think the Batman brick is way better. This one is a bit more fragrancy than the Batman brick. And it does smell a little like Suds of Darkness combined with Batman brick. That's what I've been saying about the bars Squatch released in 2022. It just feels like most of the scents are recycled from previous bars. That is why they were able to pump out 12 bars in 1 year. That's an average of 1 bar a month. So obviously they're more concerned with quantity over quality. If all you did was come out with 3 to 4 bars in a year, but they were all like really high quality, we'd have no problem with that. That would be way better than just pumping out a bunch of sorry, crappy, cheap bars. So I'm definitely not a fan of King of the Bricks, but it is way better than Raptor Rush. Number 36, Alpine Sage. This is just a really boring scent. There's not much to it. I don't know how all these rave reviews came online for how good Nautical Sage, Alpine Sage is, because I always thought it lacked scent and that it was just one of the most boring bars in the entire Dr. Squatch catalog. I'm just not smelling much of anything. So here I am complaining about all the bars in 2022 having too strong of a fragrance, and now I'm complaining that this one doesn't have enough. Okay, number 35, and before I reveal this one, I am not saying this is a bad bar. I actually think this is a good bar. The problem is that the scent is so strong that it makes my stomach nauseous, and that is snowy pine tar. This actually is a really good scent, but it's not a good scent for a soap. It's a great scent for a candle. If Squatch released this as a candle, this would be a bestseller. But when this bar is lathered up, it is just way too strong. But it's not low quality or cheap. It just has a strong fragrance, but it's not fragrance-y per se. It just has a really strong scent. But at least it is a high quality bar soap. It's not cheap. The scent just makes me nauseous because it's just too strong for me. But I can understand why a lot of people do like this bar. I'm not going to argue with you and tell you that it doesn't smell good. I just personally don't like it for a soap. Alright, so that concludes my dislike tier group. Now let's move into my indifferent tier group. Coming in at number 34, Chalky Milk. This doesn't so much smell like chocolate milk to me. This smells like a chocolate candy bar. And this is the perfect example of a bar I'm indifferent to. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. It's just like, it's alright. I don't really want to use it because I don't want to smell like a chocolate candy bar. But if you want to smell like a chocolate candy bar, then Chalky Milk is the perfect bar for you. Number 33, Cold Brew Cleanse. And the problem with Cold Brew Cleanse is not that it smells bad, it just doesn't smell like coffee. This bar is one that's kind of hard to figure out. I'm not really sure exactly what it smells like. It does smell a little like coffee. I thought the last time I smelled it, it smelled kind of like cake batter to me more than coffee. It smells kind of sweet and sugary in a way. But this is a bar, like I said, that I don't really like or dislike. It's okay. It is very gritty. It's probably one of the grittiest bars in the Dr. Squatch catalog. Yeah, you can really feel those coffee grounds in there or whatever it is that's in here. But I would think if it had coffee grounds in here that it would smell like coffee. But it really doesn't. I mean, it slightly smells like coffee, but it really does not have a strong coffee scent. If you're a big fan of coffee and you do want to try a bar that does have a strong coffee scent, try Sudsy Bear's Backwoods Brew. This smells like a Starbucks. This smells like real coffee. It smells really good. It's not like the kind of soap that I personally want to use because I don't want to smell like coffee, but it does smell really good. I also made a video for Sudsy Bear where I ranked all 31 of their soaps from worst to best. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to check that out. But yeah, this Cold Brew Cleanse is not a bad bar, but like I said, this is my indifferent tier, and I am indifferent to this. I don't like it or dislike it. It's just one of those bars that you just really don't think about much. Number 32, Legendary Lather. This is another one of those bars that came out last year that I thought was okay when I first smelled it out of the box. And even after I used it, I thought it was okay. But now that I'm smelling it, it just smells so cheap. Like I said before, the Raptor Rush smells like it's just a recycled version of Legendary Lather. But Legendary Lather is better than Raptor Rush. Legendary Lather, Raptor Rush. The Legendary Lather doesn't smell too bad. It just has kind of a cheap scent. It smells grassy and like soap and like laundry detergent or something. Ugh, and this Raptor Rush, it's way worse than it was when I made my initial review, and I didn't like it then. But this smells even worse now. Like, this really reeks. So yes, Squatch recycled this from Legendary Lather, but they added something else that made it stink way worse than Legendary Lather. But the Legendary Lather I don't hate like Raptor Rush, I just don't care for it. That's why it's in my indifferent tier group. Number 31, Spidey Suds. Now this one is hard to pinpoint. when I first smell it, I like it okay. And then as I inhale deeper, I don't like it. It's like there's two main scents, a blueberry scent and then a like perfumery fragrance or something. And when I first start smelling it, I smelled the blueberry, which is decent. But then as I inhale deeper, then I start smelling the cheap fragrance, and then I don't like it. I like the concept of a Spider-Man bar. I like the artwork. I think it's well done. It's just that this feels like a soap for children, not for men. This feels like a kid's soap. Yeah, this smells like a blueberry bubble gum type. You know those little toothpaste for the kids, like bubble gum flavor or whatever? That's what this smells like. It smells like a blueberry / bubblegum scent for kids. It feels like Dr. Squatch is no longer a soap line for men, but it's become a soap line for children. There's just nothing masculine about the smell of this bar. But I can see how kids would love it. So this is a bar that I don't hate, but I don't want to use it. All right, number 30. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, and that's fine, but it's another 2022 release that I felt was pretty cheap, although some other people loved it, and that is Coconut Castaway. Yeah, it has a coconut scent, but it's like a generic coconut scent. And also, it smells like rubber. It smells like rubber coconut. I don't like it. It's not a terrible bar. It's not offensive or anything. I just don't like it. And like I said, I really detect some type of rubbery undertone or something with the generic coconut. And it's not a good combination to me. And I think that's because this is probably around the time when Squatch started cutting costs. And unfortunately, this bar just smells a lot cheaper than it should. This bar had the potential to be really good, and some people do think it's really good, and that's fine. I mean, it definitely does not smell as cheap as the Star Wars soaps. It's better than that. I'm just not a fan. I was a bit let down because I was hoping for more on this one. Number 29, Area 51. And I'm not necessarily saying that Area 51 is better than Coconut Castaway just because I have it ranked a tad higher. Because this scent is definitely weaker than Coconut Castaway, but it doesn't smell cheap to me the way Coconut Castaway does. And ultimately, that's why I opted to put Area 51 ahead of Coconut Castaway. But they're both on my indifferent tier group for a reason, because I honestly just don't care for either bar. The scent on Area 51 is weak, and it's just hard to detect what it is. I still don't really know what Area 51 smells like, and honestly, I just don't really care. It's just not a very interesting bar. Number 28, Cedar Citrus. They discontinued this bar in place of Summer Citrus, but you can still buy these at some Walmarts, and people in the soap groups will still have them for sale as well. So you can probably get Cedar Citrus for another year or two. The problem with this bar is how weak the scent is, but it's not a bad smelling bar. It doesn't smell cheap or fragrancy, and would be a good bar to use. It just doesn't have much scent. So although Cedar Citrus has a weak scent, at least the bar is not offensive like its replacement, Summer Citrus. So instead of upgrading Cedar Citrus, they downgraded it. Next up, number 27, Freedom Fresh. This is that bar that like everyone wanted to love, but the scent was just too weak. I did a review on this soap and the deodorant, and the deodorant is actually really good. But this soap just really doesn't have much scent. It's not bad, so it's not offensive, so that's good, but just not much to the bar. And number 26, the last bar in the indifferent tier group, Eucalyptus Greek Yogurt. This just does not have much of a scent. It actually is a really good bar though. The quality is there. It's good for your skin. It just doesn't have a very interesting scent. But if you're looking more for a moisturizer than a bar that smells good, then you may really like this one. So that wraps up my indifferent tier group. And now we're going to move into the decent/okay tier group. All right, coming in at number 25, Crypto Cleanse. Now, I would say that this is probably the highest quality bar that Squatch came out with in 2022. This one does not come across cheap. The only issue I have with it is that the scent is just a bit too strong for me. But it's not perfumery or cheap smelling. It's just that it has a really strong banana nut scent. Banana nut bread scent or something. And it's just really powerful. But it smells fairly natural. I know it's a fragrance, but the fragrance doesn't smell fragrancy or cheap. It smells like banana nut bread. It's just that it's a bit too strong for my stomach. I want to like this bar more than I do, but I just can't get over how powerful that banana nut bread scent is to me. And I don't like soaps that smell like food. I don't want to smell like a candy bar. I don't want to smell like cookies or cake or pumpkin pie or banana nut bread. So that's my biggest issue with this bar, but I will say this is a high quality bar soap. This smells more like the old Squatch bars than the new ones that have so much added fragrance. And I will tell you this bar has the strongest lather in the entire Dr. Squatch catalog. When I was using it in the shower, it kept slipping out of my hands because of how strong the lather is. So I do think this is a good bar of soap. I just don't have it ranked higher because I don't like how strong the scent is. But this is a bar that I do recommend for everyone to try. Number 24, Moon Rock. Now this scent I'm not crazy about. This one smells kind of like Laffy Taffy to me. It's not bad, it's okay, but I will say this may be the grittiest bar in the Dr. Squatch catalog, or at least after Pine Tar. But this one may be even grittier than Pine Tar. You can't tell so much by looking at it, but once you lather this up and start using it, then that pumice starts getting really gritty. So I say this is definitely a high quality bar of soap. It's just the scent's just not that great. It's not a bad scent. It really smells like candy to me. If you're looking for a really gritty bar, definitely give Moon Rock a try. Number 23, Mars Bar. This one has a bit of a cinnamon scent. This is a pretty creative bar and has a unique scent. I want to like it more than I do, but for some reason, I'm just not crazy about it. This does come across like a high quality bar. It's not fragrancy. The strength is not too strong. It's not too weak. I want to like it more than I do, but for whatever reason, I just don't care that much for it. But it is a good bar and a lot of other people do like it, so I do recommend everyone give it a try. Number 22, Bow Chicka Wow Wow. The scent is good, but not great. That is why it's in my okay/decent tier group. It smells really good out of the package, but after you use it, the scent just fades away really quick. I think if they reformulated this and added some ingredients and made it gritty, that this bar could actually be really good. I do like the scent and that it's not overpowering, that it's not fragrancy, it doesn't smell cheap. It just fades really quick. So I guess maybe it is cheap. Number 21, Ruthless Rinse. Now I like the smell of this pretty well. I think it's pretty good, but it says that it's heavy grit. This bar to me hardly has any grit at all. I don't know why they say this one's heavy grit. Or am I missing something here? Because it didn't feel gritty to me at all. Not like the Moon Rock. The Moon Rock felt gritty. Cold Brew Cleanse is gritty. Of course, Pine Tar is gritty, but this Ruthless Rinse is not. But I think it's a decent bar. Like I said, I like the scent. I don't love the scent, but I like it. And you can see the texture. It looks good. Yeah, I like this bar, but I don't love it. So that's why it's in my decent/okay tier group. Number 20, the Batman Brick. This one does have a good scent out of the package, but when this gets lathered up, it is so strong. It doesn't smell cheap and fragrancy or anything. It's just really like a powerful bar. The scent is just overpowering to me. It made me feel a little nauseous because of how strong it was. But it's not a bad scent at all. I actually like the scent pretty well. And if it didn't make me sick, I would probably rank this one in my top 10. But because of how it turns my stomach is why it's ranked where it is. This is a new bar. It has not been used yet, but I know once I lather this up, it's going to be way too strong for me. So I probably will not actually use this one and keep this one new just so I can enjoy the scent when I use this for the rankings videos. Now, if you're looking for a bar with a more powerful scent, and this one's not fragrancy, it's like it has like a really strong cologne scent. And if you're looking for something like that, then definitely give this one a try. Number 19, the Riddler Enigma. Now, I really like this sour apple scent, but it's a little fragrancy. And that fragrance scent that's added makes it a little too loud for me. The Riddler is more fragrancy than the Batman, but the Batman has a stronger cologne scent and is more powerful than the Riddler bar overall. I think they're both decent, but this one is a little too powerful for me, and this one is a little too loud for me. So both of these bars are decent, but I don't love them. Number 18, and the last bar that came out in 2022, and my favorite bar of 2022, Sinister Scrub. This is the one that smells like Brick of the Dead combined with bay rum with apple pie fragrance added to it. It smells good. There's definitely some fragrance there, but it's not too fragrancy. If it didn't have any fragrance at all, I'd probably love this one. And this is a heavy grit bar, and when you use it, you can tell that it's a heavy grit bar. It's definitely way grittier than Ruthless Rinse. So if I'm not mistaken, then Squatch released 14 new soaps in 2022, and Sinister Scrub would have been my favorite scent, and Crypto Cleanse would have been the highest quality bar they released in 2022. I like Sinister Scrub better than Crypto Cleanse, but Crypto Cleanse is a higher quality bar. Followed closely by Batman and Riddler. And the other 10 were all a big swing and a miss. Alright, so that's the end of my decent/okay tier group, and now we're going to enter into my like tier group. So as of now, we've covered 28 bars and we have 17 more to go. So from here on out, I will either like or love the remaining bars. It's all uphill from here. Coming in at number 17, Dark Side Scrub. This is one of the more creative bars in the Dr. Squatch catalog. As you can see, you have the red portion of the bar and the black portion of the bar. And the red portion smells totally different than the black portion. The red portion smells fruity. It's that chokeberry powder. While the black portion is charcoal and smells smoky. So these two scents contrast one another, but the bar smells pretty good. I definitely prefer the chokeberry scent to the smoke scent, but that charcoal gives you a deep clean, so it's really good to have it in there. In my opinion, this is definitely one of the most creative bars that Dr. Squatch has come up with. And I appreciate that it's not overpowering or fragrancy. Number 16, Bay Rum. I like this scent a lot, but as I've said before, the problem for me with Bay Rum is that after you lather it up, this scent fades away way too quick. Now, if this scent would linger longer and if it would stay on your skin throughout the day, then this would be one of my top tier bars. If they could make a cologne that would get this scent to stay on your skin all day, that would be a top selling cologne. Because this is one of the best scents they have in their catalog, but like I said, unfortunately, it just fades away way too quick. I hardly even notice the scent on me at all after I get out of the shower. And as I smell this, I definitely smell Sinister Scrub. But yeah, this Bay Rum would be so good if this scent would last longer. Number 15, Frosty Peppermint. Now, if you've seen my other reviews, you know that I love peppermint. The problem with Frosty Peppermint is that the scent, it fades away way too quick, just like I was just talking about with Bay Rum, but Frosty Peppermint is even weaker. The scent itself is really good, but as soon as you step out of the shower, you can hardly smell it at all. If they would reformulate this bar and make the scent stronger, then this would also be one of my top tier bars. It seems to me like they didn't put any effort into making this bar and they just rushed it and put a lot of peppermint essential oil in it, which smells really good, but they didn't put any other good ingredients in this. Because I'm such a big fan of peppermint is why I always rank Frosty Peppermint so high in my rankings, but if Squatch would have put more effort into this bar, this would probably be on my top 5. Alright, number 14, Irish Cream and Whiskey. Now when Squatch first released this, it was like 2019 or 2020, and that recipe, that formula was way better than this. They did some kind of reformulation and it smells worse than the OG Irish Cream and Whiskey. The original Irish Cream and Whiskey was one of my favorites in the entire Dr. Squatch catalog. And this smells pretty good, but nothing like the old Irish Cream and Whiskey. It smells like they added some kind of fragrance here and it just doesn't work. It almost has like some kind of licorice undertone or something. And they seem to have done this with a few bars. They've added fragrance and for the most part it makes the bars worse. But there is one exception to when they added fragrance, they made the bar much better, and I'll be talking about that later in the video. I really wish Squatch would have stuck with the original formula because that bar I absolutely loved. Alright, so surprise for you, that actually concludes the like tier. So what does that mean? That means that we are now entering into my love tier group, which include 13 selections. So out of 45 bars Dr. Squatch has in their catalog, I love 13 of them. So 13 out of 45 I actually think is a lot. So coming in at number 13, the first bar in my love tier group, Grapefruit IPA. I love this bar. This is what a citrus bar is supposed to smell like. So how does Dr. Squatch get this so right and these so wrong? This is too weak, this is too strong, and this is just right. This has the perfect strength. It's not too strong, it's not too weak. You smell a nice grapefruit scent, but there's also the beer hops, but they're subtle. They're more in the background. It's like an undernote underneath the grapefruit scent, and it works really well together. See, Dr. Squatch, this is the strength you want to use for your bars. Not so weak, not so strong. Follow this formula. This is just right. Number 12, Deep Sea Goat's Milk. This is probably the best skin moisturizer in the entire Dr. Squatch catalog. I really think women would love this bar. This is a phenomenal bar. This probably has the highest quality ingredients of any of the soaps in the Dr. Squatch catalog. The only reason I don't have it ranked higher is because there are just other scents that I like better than this one. But if you were looking to get a bar based on the quality of the ingredients more so than the scent, then I would definitely recommend you try Deep Sea Goat's Milk. And it does have a pleasant scent, it's just not very strong. I like the scent, I just don't love it. But I do love the bar overall because of the high quality ingredients. All right, number 11, one that is really hard to track down at this point, and that is Drunken Pumpkin. It smells phenomenal. This is actually the opposite of what I was just talking about on Deep Sea Goat's Milk. This one has such an awesome smell, but not high quality ingredients. But this definitely is one of the top tier, one of the very best scents in the entire Dr. Squatch catalog. If someone were to tell me this is the very best scent in the Dr. Squatch catalog, I wouldn't argue with them. But the negative about this bar is that it doesn't feel like they put quality ingredients in it. It seems like they just focused on the scent, which is good, but if they would upgrade the ingredients, this could become my new number one. I could just sit here all day and smell this bar. Not only one of the top-notch scents in the entire Dr. Squatch catalog, but one of the very best scents that I've smelled from any soap company. Now that I'm smelling this a little more, you know the Dark Side Scrub, when I said the black portion smelled like smoke, it was a charcoal? Actually, same thing here. I can actually smell the charcoal scent. It has kind of a smoky scent, just like the Dark Side Scrub. And charcoal is actually listed as an ingredient on the box. Okay, so they did put some good ingredients in here. The only problem with Drunken Pumpkin is that after you use it in the shower, the scent fades away pretty fast. Or at least it did for me. But yeah, this is definitely one of the top-notch scents in the entire Dr. Squatch catalog. So good job on this bar. Dr. Squatch, you need to re-release Drunken Pumpkin. All right, it's time to get into the top 10. Coming in at number 10, Cool Fresh Aloe. Such a great clean scent. I love this one. If you've not tried Cool Fresh Aloe, you definitely need to. This smells kind of like Irish Spring minus any chemicals. So yeah, this one dropped a couple slots from my previous rankings video, but it has nothing to do with Cool Fresh Aloe. I still like it just as much. It's just that there were a few other bars that cracked into my top 10 and pushed this one down a couple slots. But that's why I made the tiers, so that it doesn't really matter if it's ranked 9, 10, or 11. It's still in my love tier group. So honestly, the rankings don't really matter that much in my love tier group because I actually love all these bars. I always say if you're new to Squatch and looking for a bar to try, you can't go wrong with Cool Fresh Aloe. Number 9, Wisdom Wash. This has such an amazing scent. It's kind of like a nice, clean citrus scent. Like a really deep, fresh clean combined with a lime undertone. It's actually really creative. Squatch did a really good job with this bar, especially the scent. I haven't really smelled anything quite like it from any other soap company. And when you lather this up in the shower, it gets stronger, but it's not overpowering. So even though this is coming in at number 9, this is still one of my favorite bars in the Dr. Squatch catalog. Like I said, it's just really creative and well done. This is a high quality bar soap. If you haven't tried Wisdom Wash yet, you definitely should. Coming in at number 8, Pine Tar. Now when I first smelled this out of the package, I did not like the scent. But once I lathered it up and used it in the shower, it smells so good. And that's why this is in my top 10. I'm smelling this now. I don't know if I like it quite as much as Wisdom Wash. Now I put this at number 8, one notch ahead of Wisdom Wash. But now I'm thinking I may not like this quite as much as I liked Wisdom Wash. 8, 9, or 8, 9, doesn't matter. They're about the same, and I love them both. These smell so good, and this is why I still rock with Squatch, even though I didn't like many of their new releases in 2022. Number 7, Stone IPA. Now this one surprised me. Probably more than any bar in the catalog because I did not expect to like this one at all. But once I used it in the shower, I fell in love with it. I didn't think I would like the combination of menthol, beer hops, and charcoal, but it turned out to be really good. This is another one of those bars that Squatch needs to re-release because this one was pretty popular. Stone IPA, Drunken Pumpkin, Squatch. We need these re-released stat. I typically do not like beer scents, but this one is very subtle and is buried underneath the menthol and charcoal. And because of the charcoal in the bar, it's going to give you a really deep clean. Again, I did not expect to like this bar so much. Number 6, Fresh Falls. Oh yeah, look at this nice shade of blue. Yeah, this one smells similar as Cool Fresh Aloe. This smells kind of like the sport version of Irish Spring minus the chemicals. These two go very well together. This is one of the most popular scents in the catalog, and I understand why. This has a unique scent, kind of like a deep, sporty clean. If you're new to Squatch and trying to figure out which bar to try, you can't go wrong with Fresh Falls. This is another example of Squatch getting the strength of the scent just right. This one is not strong and overpowering, and it's also not weak. It's just right. Squatch, this is where you need to be at when making your new soaps. Follow the blueprint you use for Fresh Falls. Alright, it's time for the top 5. Alright, coming in at number 5, a bar that has moved up 13 spots since last year's rankings. Brick of the Dead. This bar got a re-release in 2022. And I think that Squatch changed a little bit. I think they added a little stronger fragrance. And this bar smells phenomenal now. The bar smelled okay before, but I remember the scent was not very strong. And now that the scent is stronger, they've added a little bit of stronger fragrance. Now this bar really stands out. I also got the deodorant, and I think that this one is my new favorite out of the Dr. Squatch deodorants. Smells awesome, and so does his bar soap. I love this scent now. I think this is the only bar so far that Squatch has changed and actually made it better. This was a positive change. The scent is a lot stronger than it used to be, but it's still not overpowering. And it's not perfumery or loud. This is just right. It now has the perfect strength. This is so good, and it was on limited edition, so I bought like 6 bars of this. Definitely is now one of my top favorites in the catalog. Brick of the Dead, major improvement. Awesome job on this one, Squatch. And the deodorant too. Coming in at number 4, Only Hope Soap. Now I'm not saying that this one smells as good as the others in my top 10. I mean, I personally do like the scent, but I know that it's not strong enough for some people. I understand that, and that's fine. But the reason this bar stands out to me and I have it ranked so high is because of the way it feels on my skin when I use it. I think it's the bentonite clay. It really moisturizes your skin, and that is why I love this bar so much. This has really good ingredients. And I do like the scent. I don't love it as much as other bars on this list, but the scent is pleasant. It's just that a lot of men especially are not going to like scents that are this subtle. I don't mind subtle scents. I like subtle scents, especially when the ingredients are this good. It is a very unique scent. I would say it smells kind of like a potpourri. And I hope that Squatch will get back to making bars like this and not like this. All right, and number 3, a bar that hardly anyone ever acknowledges, hardly a bar that anyone talks about, Spearmint Basil. I don't care what anyone says. I love this bar. I love the scent. The ingredients are good. This isn't too strong, it's not too weak, it's just right, and it's exactly what it says it is. Spearmint combined with basil. It's just that simple. And they actually go really well together. Everyone knows what spearmint smells like. Most people like it. Maybe not everyone knows exactly what basil smells like, but it has a pretty nice scent. And this bar smells just like them combined, like the name says. This has just the right blend. It's not powerful, it's not weak, it's just right. Now, if you're looking for a more powerful bar, then this probably won't be for you. But if you're looking for a nice, pleasant, subtle scent, this one's really good. I can see a lot of women really liking this one as well. I really wish more people would give this one a chance because I think some people would really like it. All right, coming in at number 2, Wood Barrel Bourbon. This has such an amazing scent. It smells a lot like Drunken Pumpkin, but this one has grit. So I think it may take it to another level. Smells like a really nice cologne. And what's so good about this is that it's strong, but it's not overpowering. It's just right. Like I was just saying, Squatch, this is where you need to be at. These are kind of bars you need to come out with. If you only came out with 3 to 4 bars a year, but they were more like this, then this should be your goal. 3 to 4 of these and not 12 of these. Quality over quantity. This is one of the greatest scents of all time. This is where you need to be at, Squatch. Not this. If you smell these bars, they smell completely different. And I'm not just talking about the scent. I'm talking about the quality. This doesn't smell fragrancy. This just smells like a whole bunch of fragrance oil was added. This smells cheap. This smells like high quality cologne. Huge difference in these bars. Squatch, get back to this and stay there. Wood Barrel Bourbon, Wisdom Wash, Only Hope, Fresh Falls. All of these bars have such higher quality than the ones you released in 2022. Please, return back to this and take your second Star Wars collection and send into a galaxy far, far away. And number 1, those who have seen my previous videos already know what it is. Gold Moss. The original version that I got in 2019 was called Gold Moss Scrub, and I think that was better than this, but I still like this one as well. But the one in 2019 was a good bit better. The scent is kind of hard to describe. There's a scent of amber and an undertone of kind of like a spice cake or something. This is just a really good scent. I've said before that I think this is like the perfect soap for me. Obviously, it's not going to be too strong. It's not going to be too weak. It's just right. It's in the middle. I still like the scent. The scent is pretty much the same, but the Gold Moss Scrub was a little stronger, and this one fades faster. I'm not sure why Squatch did that. I guess they altered the formula to cut costs or something, but they definitely cut quality at the same time, and that's not worth it. I mean, to me, if your costs go up, charge an extra $1. I'd rather pay $1 extra for a high quality bar of soap than for you to cut costs and charge us a little less for crap quality. I mean, I'd gladly pay $8 for a bar of the original Gold Moss Scrub, opposed to paying $6 to $7 for this new formulation that's not as good. So if you put the new Gold Moss by the Wood Barrel Bourbon, do I really like this bar better than this one? Not really, but because of the original Gold Moss Scrub, I still rank this one at number 1, because somewhere deep down I'm hoping that they return back to the original formula for Gold Moss Scrub. And that bar is definitely, without a doubt, my number 1. Not only of Squatch, but probably of any bar from any soap company I've ever used. That's how much I love the original Gold Moss Scrub. This Wood Barrel Bourbon here is probably a tad better than the new Gold Moss. But like I said, the Gold Moss Scrub was my favorite, and this is very close to it. But like I said, I love all of the bars that made my love tier group. They're all very high quality bars, and those are the bars that Squatch should continue to make. So Squatch, get back to the basics. Quality over quantity. So that's about it for my rankings video. Let us know in the comments which of my selections do you agree or disagree with. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing. Thanks for watching, and God bless.